Good evening, I'm Shane Jones. We're going to lead the news at 7 with coverage of Parliament, where Prime Minister Frundle Stewart encouraged Barbadians to set higher standards for themselves. Our Lisa Broom has been following the coverage. Lisa?
That's right, Shane. The call came during a tribute to the late Governor-General Sir Clifford Husbands during today's sitting of Parliament. Now, praising Sir Clifford's legacy in the many offices he's held, Prime Minister Stewart is encouraging Barbadians to take note of the standards set by the former jurist as a benchmark for national progress.
Carried himself with exemplary dignity, and that, I think, Barbados continues to need in its men and women if we are going to be a successful nation over the next 50 years. If we are going to be as good or better in the next 50 years than we were in the first 50. And I always remember being seated next to the late Branford Tate in James Street Church on the morning of Dame Nita's funeral. When Sir Clifford was ushered into the court, nobody had any idea who would succeed Dame Nita. Branford Tate turned to me and said, "He looks like he could be the next Governor General." He was always clothed in that splendor that marked him out as a man destined for higher achievement.
Opposition leader Mia Mottley is concerned that too many Barbadians lack a sense of belonging, not just as it relates to their community, but to their country as well. She wants children to be taught from a young age what it means to be Barbadian. Ms. Mottley expressed the concern during her tribute to Sir Clifford, lauding him for his commitment to nation building. It's a trait she believes is critical to Barbados's development.
Children need to know to whom they belong. Having spent 7 years in the Ministry of Education, I was amazed at the amount of young people that we have in this country and older people for whom the absence of that sense of belonging has been a complete destabilizing factor. And it struck me that while this was being stated in the context of the family, the conversations that Sir Clifford would have with me every November were in relation to the family of the nation.
And Minister of Tourism and International Transport Richard Seeley remembers Sir Clifford as a disciplinarian who served with dignity.
As Governor General, I think he had the distinction of having to deal with transitioning of opposition leaders on 2 occasions, always a very dicey affair. I can't speak to the one that happened in 2010, but I can talk about the one in 2006. Remember, Philip North always remarks on the efficiency with which he operated on that day. Parliament was meeting, and we had to do our business and get here.
Well, Shane, as you've heard so far, partisanship was put aside as the MPs reminisced on their interactions with the late Sir Clifford. One of them, Independent St. Peter MP Owen Arthur, says his prime ministership was greatly enhanced by Sir Clifford. He says for Sir Clifford, the position of Governor-General was not a ceremonial one.
Sir Clifford was a magnificent holder of that office. And I can only say that if all other future holders of the office were to aspire to exemplify the standards and the dignity that he brought, then Barbados will be very well served by the head of state, no matter if we refer to that head of state as the Queen's representative, or if we choose at some stage to refer to that head of state by a title that bears a more indigenous dignity.
And as the tributes continued, Education Minister Ronald Jones reflected on Sir Clifford's presence. He said the late Governor-General had an aristocratic air about him that demanded respect.
He had this deliberate way of speaking so that you you had to understand almost every word, phrase, and sentence, the way that they were delivered. And he knew that he had your attention, and it wasn't that because you were before the Governor General, you had to feign or pretend that he had your attention. His style made, as we said earlier, made you feel easy and comfortable, even though you know you were conscious that you had to go off to do something else.
Meanwhile, opposition MP Santia Bradshaw noted that Sir Clifford's love and drive for agriculture was an example for public figures of how to use their personal passion in a positive way.
As I reflect on the fact that he would have been very instrumental with his commitment to agriculture and the development of the agricultural summer camp, which would have exposed several young people on an annual basis to modern agriculture and the role in which agriculture could play, I think it is something which all honorable members in this chamber should reflect on, because while we hold positions in public life, certainly the public sees us in one dimension, but I think it is important that we also show a versatility of character in other aspects as well.
And after paying tribute to Sir Clifford, the parliamentarians resumed debate on the proposed amendments to the Road Traffic Act. In his contribution, Attorney General Adriel Brathwaite gave the newly proposed breathalyzer testing the thumbs up. In fact, he says there should be no opposition to it. Mr. Brathwaite is also especially pleased with the move to allow random testing of public transport operators, and while lauding the sacrifice made by transport operators to properly execute their jobs, he says they must be held accountable when they put people's lives in danger.
They must be held to a higher standard, and yes, the same thing applies to transport board drivers. It applies to any driver who carries human cargo. They must be held to a higher standard, and we must call upon them to accept their responsibilities seriously. And I'm not attacking them, Mr. Speaker, because you and I both know, in fact, we all accept the fantastic role that they all play.
The Attorney General also pleaded with relevant authorities to properly enforce the measures addressed in the Act.
Sometimes when you see the offense and when you see the penalty, you think, well, hang on, there's something wrong here. We are not sending the right signal here. So it must be a tripartite approach. We as Parliament provides a legislative framework with the appropriate penalties. We need the police to enforce it, but we also need the support of our judicial system to ensure that the correct signal is sent and sent continuously.
So Shane, as you could imagine, these proposed amendments will continue to generate discussion both inside and outside of Parliament. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Lisa. Well, that's comprehensive coverage there from the entire CBC newsroom. Okay, we'll take a short break here, and when we come back, good news for the tourism industry.
It started with my love for making things. That became a business. And when I wanted to expand, I chose a partner that could help me build on my vision. A partner that made growing my business easier with fewer steps. That's banking that starts with me.
It starts with you. Scotiabank.
Hey there. Yes, you.
Yes, Flow customers, you've topped up, signed up, paid your bill on time and in full. Now you can win over $250,000 in cash and prizes. It's time to play.
Let's go Family Flow!
You could win smart TVs, cell phones, cash, and more weekly. Visit www.discoverflow.co or see price for details. Cable and wireless terms and conditions apply.
Coming up.
Drumming my pain with his fingers.
One of them got up, I met him halfway across the floor.
That will always tear this is happiness, inseparable.
So if your new love isn't the true love.
Coming to TV8 Saturday nights at 7:30, the all-new TV reality talent show, CBC Standard Carry Your Own Key. Brought to you in association with our proud partners, Sky Mall, Days Books, Ace Pharmacy, Diamonds International, and Standard Distributors, where quality is a lifestyle.
Tick tock, tick tock. November 25th. Tickets available at CBC The Pine, Superstyle Shoe Shops at Sky Mall and Bridgetown.
Barbados will see yet another increase in tourism arrivals as it welcomes between 4 and 5 additional cruise liners this year. Chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., Alvin Jemmett, made the disclosure at the plaque presentation ceremony aboard the Celebrity Reflection to mark its inaugural visit to Barbados. The vessel brought 3,000 tourists to the island today.
Pretty much now Barbados is seeing a rebound from the cruise arrivals, and this year we expect just around 840,000 cruise ship visitors to the island. There was some concern a little earlier in the year when things went a little south after all those devastating hurricanes, but thank God we are back on track, and everyone is now seeing full confidence in coming to Barbados and having the passengers enjoy the destination.
After disembarking the vessel, several of those visitors were treated to the performances from the Darrell Jordan Steel Orchestra. Many of them were impressed with the quality of music.
Really good. The bass player, the drummer, all of them awesome.
Keep doing the good work, and I really enjoy it. So thank you, and you guys are doing an awesome job. So thank you. They're doing an awesome job. So keep going, and please, all that can help them to keep doing this, do it.
A 22-year-old Trinidadian Harvard student is this year's winner of the prestigious Caribbean Rhodes Scholarship. Mandela Patrick was announced winner by Acting Governor General Sir Philip Graves earlier today at Government House. Selected from a field of 9 candidates, which included 2 Trinidadians, 1 St. Lucian, 1 Bahamian, 1 Antiguan, 1 Dominican, and Barbadians Nia Brathwaite, Dario Clark, and Dominique Lovell, Patrick became the latest winner of the award, which was introduced in the 1950s. Come October 2018, Patrick will be pursuing master's degrees in computer science and statistics at the Oxford University in the United Kingdom.
It's really great to get this opportunity to be rewarded on the biggest stage, and it's been a really wonderful experience. I've met so many qualified and amazing people from the Caribbean. The Caribbean is in really good hands, and it's been a really rewarding process. I've learned so much about myself and the impact that I want to have on the Caribbean, and yeah, I'm excited for my journey. I'm going forward.
The varsity squash player says his vision is to transform the Caribbean through technology.
In particular, education. So I have had experiences applying machine learning at scale at companies such as Facebook and Goldman Sachs, and I want to bring that sort of technology and that sort of experience to bring personalized education to the Caribbean, where I think it's going to have a massive impact for fixing education equality in Trinidad and in the wider Caribbean, and I'm excited to start that journey.
The food court at the popular Sheraton Mall is in for some changes. This follows an announcement that Trinidadian-owned company SMJ Beverages would be sponsoring the food court over the next 3 years. Commercial manager Samuel Skinner says the project will be rolled out in the coming weeks.
Today, we are excited to officially launch yet another collaborative joint venture as we join forces with the management of Sheraton Mall to sponsor the Sheraton Mall food court with our Fruta brand. This 3-year sponsorship will bring big benefits to both concessionaires and consumers alike. Together, we will provide exciting marketing initiatives and consumption occasions.
After the break, we'll take a look at the cost of rebuilding the private sector in Dominica.
We listened to what you had to say and tore up the old rules because losing what you paid for is just wrong. Now lost data and talk are a thing of the past. Only Digicel gives you unlimited rollover data and talk. Just buy and renew your Quick Pick bundle before it expires and keep what's rightfully yours. Never lose what you don't use. Go to My Digicel app to bundle up and roll over today. Digicel.
Help support the restoration efforts for the hundreds of thousands affected by catastrophic hurricanes. Donate to the Red Cross Hurricane Relief account at any branch of the following: CIBC First Caribbean, account number 10011633436. First Citizens, 500-900-00588. RBC Royal Bank, 210-05073. And Republic Bank, 01804-153-1001. Monies raised will be sent to the International Red Cross for its restoration work for affected persons. Appeal closes 30th November 2017. Persons wishing to post checks should make these out to Red Cross Hurricane Relief Appeal account and post to Barbados Red Cross Society, P.O. Box 300, Bridgetown, or hand deliver to the Red Cross Warrens headquarters. The Barbados Red Cross and commercial banks, on behalf of the victims of catastrophic hurricanes, thank all persons and businesses for their contributions.
Are you the next TV karaoke star? CBC and Standard present Carry Your Own Key, a search for Barbados' next big singing sensation. Show off your talent to a star-studded music industry judging panel and a live crowd. Audition number 4 is at Lucky Horseshoe City Center Mall in Bridgetown this Wednesday, November 22nd from 6 to 9 p.m. Make the finals for a chance at thousands in cash and prizes. Winner takes all. You must be 16 years of age or older and meet all eligibility requirements to enter. Want to host a Carry Your Own Key at your venue? Then call us to partner 253-9840 or email thines@cbc.bb. Can you carry your own key? The CBC Standard Carry Your Own Key TV reality show, brought to you by Sky Mall, Days Books, Ace Pharmacy, Lucky Horseshoe, Diamonds International, and Standard Distributors, where quality is a lifestyle.
The doctors are live and online.
We have another caller.
Concerned about chronic illnesses? Just ask.
I was getting like a sharp pain. It's not cramp.
Or the right medication and side effects for your ailment?
Common drugs that treat glaucoma are beta blockers, and they also slow down your heart rate.
Get advice on how to eat right.
If you eat a lot of food like eggs, of course, got sulfur in it.
Just ask.
You have good bacteria that exist in your stomach. And one of the bad things is when you introduce antibiotics, it causes the alteration in these bacteria.
CBC presents Medical every first and third Friday at 9 p.m. on CBC TV 8 with Rosemary Allen. They are your lifeline.
Brought to you with the compliments of Blue Cerna, Hunger Smart.
Barbados, this November 29th. Get ready for Barbados is Music Volume 2. Be at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium to witness the Big Bad Splash Band. 4D people featuring Peter Brand, Magnet Man, and Jaco. Special guest appearance by Nikita, Alex Gay, Cheyenne, and Waukee. DJs Malcolm X and the X-Clan, DMZ, and the Chihuahua Businessman. November 29th, Sir Garfield Sobers Complex. Barbados is Music. Be there.
It will take an estimated $540 million for Dominica's small business and private sector to recover after the passage of Hurricane Maria. Minister of Commerce Rosalind Paul says the sector was severely affected.
The vast majority of some 97% can be applied to reconstruction with resilience for that sector. The remainder, some 11 million, is applied to the human recovery needs of the sector. The cost is as a result of this extreme damage suffered by the sector, amounting to EC 495 million and another 20 million in change in flows of loss of the sector. And so it is very fitting that we at the ministry express our solidarity with the private sector, the various enterprises, for their loss.
Tens of thousands of Haitian earthquake victims face deportation from the United States after the visa scheme was scrapped.
The Trump administration ending a humanitarian program allowing approximately 59,000 Haitian immigrants to temporarily live and work in the United States, giving them until July 2019 to leave the country or risk being deported. Temporary protected status was given to Haitians in the U.S. in 2010 after a powerful 7.0 magnitude earthquake killed hundreds of thousands in the island nation. The Department of Homeland Security declaring those extraordinary but temporary conditions caused by the 2010 earthquake no longer exist. However, Haiti remains the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and a recent United Nations report estimates 55,000 Haitians are still struggling in the aftermath of the quake, with thousands still living in makeshift camps 7 years later. The head of the Democratic National Committee responding in a statement writing, "Donald Trump's cruelty knows no bounds." Republican Congresswoman Ileana Ross-Lehtinen insisting that Haiti is not prepared to take back nearly 60,000 people. This announcement coming as a federal judge permanently blocks the Trump administration's executive order that would deny funding to so-called sanctuary cities. The judge ruling that the president cannot set new conditions on spending approved by Congress, rejecting the administration's argument that the order was merely an instruction to enforce existing law.
Well, it's still not clear what the official death toll is in Puerto Rico following the passage of Hurricane Maria. The official figure stands at 55, but there are fears Maria could have killed more people than originally thought. CNN has learned hundreds more are believed to have died as a result of the passage of Maria.
These are the images they'd rather remember, the ones capturing Jose Pepe Sanchez joking with his family. But there's another image his daughter Roxana cannot stop thinking about. The moment she opened the door and found him on the ground.
So she says if Maria had not passed straight through here, she believes her dad would still be alive today.
She believes his nerves, stress during Hurricane Maria led to a heart attack when Maria struck in September. He had had a heart attack in February, but the family says he had recovered, boarded up windows himself the day before the storm. Just minutes before Maria made landfall, she tells us her father complained of breathing complications. When her uncle called 911, he says help was not available in the interior part of the island.
No one from the government has come to ask questions about the cause or the situation surrounding his death.
Over the same month last year, the number of deaths in Puerto Rico increased by 472. The government is reporting 55 people died at the hands of Hurricane Maria.
It's accurate based on the factual information that we received, yes.
This is Puerto Rico's Secretary of Public Safety in charge of the death count.
It appears, for whatever reason, that the death toll is much higher than what has been reported.
Politicians, news outlets like CNN have raised questions about the accuracy of those numbers. So we decided to count for ourselves. CNN called 279 funeral homes. We were only able to reach about half of them. We asked how many of the deaths were believed to be related to Maria. Despite the official death toll, they claim 499 hurricane-related deaths in the month after the storm. That's 9 times the government's numbers.
Why the gap?
because, as I said before, I work on factual. I can't work on I believe.
So we described Pepe's case.
Gentleman is at a home. He has a stroke. The person with him calls 911. 911 says we can't get to him in time because 150-mile-per-hour winds are pounding us right now. Is that a hurricane-related death?
Absolutely.
Okay. Allow me to introduce you to Jose, Pepe. That was his case.
A case not included in Puerto Rico's death toll. The discrepancy begins here, the death certificate. A doctor marked Pepe's death natural. Cases marked natural aren't supposed to go to forensics. And forensics says if they don't get the cases, there's no way to investigate if it's related to the hurricane. On the certificate, doctors are not obligated to report if the hurricane contributed to the death.
Okay, we'll have a sports update for you next. But before we get there, here's a tip from Cooperators General Insurance.
This tip of the day is brought to you by Cooperators General Insurance Company Limited. Insurance the way you want it to be.
You should always drive at a reasonable speed, which would enable you to easily control your vehicle. Cooperators General, promoting safety on our roads.